evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the PC Specialist BRC Esports Invitational Championship. We are getting to the business end now, the second half of this new esports series. We've had a round in Wales, on the gravel. We've been to Spain, the tarmac. Now we head to Germany, another tarmac round and a mighty interesting challenge to get our teeth into over the next 2 nights. My name is Ben Bunell and I am joined in the commentary booth once again by the wonderful, the marvellous Matt Cotton. Good evening, sir.
BB, you're going to have to stop these intros like that, you know, it's just too kind. But look, I'm really excited to be joining you for round 3. I was excited for round 1. I thought round 2 was epic, but Germany on DiRT Rally 2.0 is going to be mega. So unpredictable. This is going to be brilliant.
Indeed, it will be, Matt. Of course, Germany is our hat tip to Ypres. The challenging nature of the stage is fast flowing, then on to the brakes and really tight and twisty stuff. And of course, the weather gets thrown in as well to add that extra little bit of spice. Now, these guys are the professionals, or crikey, in the case of Rupert Flynn here, maybe not quite so professional at this time, but Rupert did go on to set some good times in Spain. If the professionals, these guys here, are conducting themselves in the British Rally Championship in real life, and we've invited them to have a go at esports. Now, these guys are running some really good equipment, and if you're enjoying this and want to take part and be just as quick as these guys, head to pcspecialist.co.uk and use the code EBRC to buy some of the latest gears from our partner. You will not be disappointed. Some really cool stuff there. Matt, Germany, who can we expect to come out on top here?
It's as unpredictable as the real thing, isn't it, the esports series? Look, it's going to be hard to bet against James Morgan. He's had the hammer down on the first 2 rounds so far, and it's going to be difficult to bet against him. But James Williams, dark horse? I don't think we can call him a dark horse anymore. I think he's going to take the fight to James in Germany.
So we've got 4 stages for you once again. 2 stages with Matt and I this evening, and then Seb Scott and John Armstrong will take you through the final 2, the finale, tomorrow evening. So here we go. We had a qualifying stage a couple of nights ago, and a new name will get us underway. William Crichton from Northern Ireland, our junior BRC front-running protagonist, will lead the order away. Brian Brady, Di Roberts, and we build up so we get to James Morgan, our double winner at the very end. Matt, can only mean one thing. We line up for SS1. William Crichton just waiting for the clock to tick down. These guys running at minute intervals. William Crichton using the Polo, a popular car of choice. I wonder if it's run by DGM Sport in virtual as well as the real world. As we get Germany underway. Stage is live, Matt.
Yeah, it's great to see Will leading the field away here tonight. You know, Will's really come on board. He didn't manage to get a setup quite in time for the opening 2 rounds, but he's sort of taken it under his wing here for Germany. He's got into the mood, he's got into the game, he's been asking lots of questions, finding out all about it. So, okay, the times might not be there for Will being his first effort, but you know what? It's great to have him in the series.
Absolutely, so far so good, looking very clean, looking very tidy. This is a massive long straight. For those of you who've played the game, this is a hold it as long as you dare on the limiter. Get that braking right. Braking right here. Looking very neat, very accomplished. Oh, commentator's curves, Matt.
BB.
Oh, he got caught on a rock. I'm so sorry, Will. I'm so sorry, but thankfully he's only lost maybe 3 or 4 seconds, but he's back on the way again. As Brian Brady, as we said, these guys are running at minute intervals, and Brian, great to have him back, Matt, as well.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And just going back a second there, you might have just seen in the camera shot the cobbles, and that's what Will just suffered on. These are quite difficult, those cobbles, to get your braking points right into the hairpins in the 90s here in Germany, and most of the time you're absolutely flat out into them as well. So you've got to do a lot of heavy braking early on to make sure that you can get around those corners cleanly enough.
just had an update through from Seb Scott, who's is commentating tomorrow, but he's looking after the sort of the Clarking course duties today, and he has said that rain will be falling on stage 2 tonight. So I wonder what these guys are doing on the tyre choice, Matt.
That will be interesting. They don't have a service after this stage, so they would have had to have made that tyre choice as they left service. For me, I think I would have gone on a wet tyre for this drier surface and then made sure that it counted on SS2. Doing that the other way round, it would have been an absolute nightmare to try and do any wet stages on a slick tyre. That is going to make SS2 very interesting, however.
One left of a crest.
It will do indeed, and of course we did mention at the start, this is very much like our little hat tip to Ypres. On the 3 years that the British Rally Championship have been to the Flanders region in Belgium, there's been bone dry, scorching sunshine, but when it does rain there, it creates a complete lottery. We just saw a quick glimpse of Di Roberts in there, so we've got some new and returning names to the series, but you can also take part. So these guys are in the R5 Invitational. You can enter the EBRC at BritishRallyChampionship.co.uk, use the Ford Fiesta R2T, and you can use the same stages as these guys here. And there's a chance of driving an actual car as we hopefully hear from Morgan Kyton.
It went okay. I got stuck behind a rock for a bit, but forgot to put my phone in silent, so I was getting messages from Seb Scott, so that didn't really help things.
Oh no. Seb, if you're listening, you should be listening. Definitely don't message the drivers, and Will never sort of use the phone whilst driving as well. I can't condone that at all.
Absolutely.
But yeah, a big smile on Will's face. He's got through the opening test. That's the most important thing.
I hope that Seb isn't an underhand weather reporter for Will Crichton and was just giving him weather information for SS2. That wouldn't be very good, would it? Wouldn't be very sporting.
No, it wouldn't, but all of these guys were told before they went into the stage here that the weather conditions will be mixed and it will be dry, followed by the torrential rain, I believe, coming into the second stage. So Brian Brady, our returnee, wasn't well on the first round, back in business, into the lead.
It was very dry. Hopefully it'll pay off in the next stage. We've 1 second lead over William Crichton there and going on to the next one.
Yeah, there we go. Brian looks to have taken the wet on the opening stage and will be going for the wet tyre, hopefully paying advantage as the second stage comes this evening. So Rupert Flynn, our cadet champion from 2019, is into the stage, as Eamon Creedon as well, the safe pair of hands, top Irish navigator. I've been impressed with him. He's been slowly chinking away at the times, and he's getting quicker with each event.
Yeah, he has, and fair play to him. He's not using the most conventional car in Dirt Rally 2.0. You don't see the 208 T16 R5 used very often, but he obviously likes it. He likes the setup, he likes the way it feels, and it's great to see that machine because it does sound wicked even in this game. It's very impressive.
I was going to say, the sound, isn't it? We like the sound, and that's what it's all about.
Totally.
Di Roberts pops his way through. He goes quickest.
Had a good push, few cautious and couple of small places, but no, happy overall through that one. So
yeah, good to have Di back. And actually, interestingly, seeing the seat there he sat on, he was on a controller for Wales when we last saw him. He's got the full gear. These guys are taking it seriously, and it's not the real thing, Matt. These guys are wanting to outdo each other with the gear, the setups. So I think all of our guys now are on the simulator setup. So it's going to be close, isn't it? As Dale Furness, some big cuts here.
Yeah, there's some brave lines going on there. Leaving his braking a little bit too late. That will lose him a couple of seconds. Well, maybe not quite that much. Just to mention, Will Crichton's time is pretty good considering Brian was only just over a second ahead of him, despite Will hitting that rock on the opening couple of corners. So it's looking quite tight already for everybody.
Stage 1 went very well, struggling for a small bit of grip with a set of wet tyres on, so here's hoping stage 2 will go a small bit better.
Yeah, you were right, Matt, on the old predictions. The old crystal ball came out. Everyone looks to be running on those wet tyres and nursing him through this stage, although not much nursing is going on with Dale Furness. Some big slides leaving the rubber on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. A very short stage, and again, we're not seeing big gaps at the minute, and I think it will be even closer together as our top guys enter the stage. And I think one of those dark horses, one of those guys, I think Matt will be running at the very front, will be Richard Crozier.
Yeah, usually keeps it neat and tidy. Was impressive in Spain. Give him his due. He was impressive. Just kept it between the rock faces and the Armco very, very well. If he does the same here in Germany, now he needs to do the same here in Germany. Although it's a lot wider, those Hinkelsteins, the ones that we all know about Germany, are prevalent across every single stage. So they do need to keep it in the middle of the road.
Rupert Flynn there, 2019 Cadet Cup champion, popped his way through into 4th. He'll be pleased he didn't get any damage as he crossed the finish line, because you remember in Spain, Matt, on that first stage, he sort of took out the finish line gantry. So the car looks to have all the wheels, all the tyres, all the bodywork in one piece. That's a great result, I think, for Rupert.
I think he'll be happy just to have a clean run through here in Germany. It could go either way. Tricky enough stage as it is in the dry, so if we have got that rain as we predict in SS2, I'm excited for SS2, I won't lie.
Before we get to SS2, Matt, we've got the business end now of the first stage. Dale Furness makes light work of the final hairpin.
Nicely done.
Pops it through the gears. Yeah, absolutely nicely done. Where can Dale put himself? He goes quickest.
It took a couple of corners to get into it in that one, but no, safe enough run. No dramas.
No dramas there. Good time from Dale. As our 2019 Junior British Rally champion and Billy Coleman Award winner Josh McAlane enters into the fold. Now here we go, Matt. We were saying before, it gets quicker and quicker. This is where we're going to try and keep up, see what the times are doing, and see who's going to lead after the opening test. You still going for James Morgan?
Do you know, I don't know. Would it be okay if I changed my mind?
No. Okay. Really sorry. That's it. Signed, sealed and delivered.
You know,
of course you can,
well,
Matt.
look, just looking at Josh McAlane there, I just think, you've said it before, there's a couple of guys that are just Mr. Consistent, and I think Josh is really, really one of those. If he can just put the pressure on James Morgan, James Williams, and just have a clean run, and he just keeps it tidy, neat, in the middle of the road, I don't know, he might be the one to beat.
Ooh, Richard Crozier goes quickest.
But it's probably only a second or so of where we can really be, so that's a pretty good time to start. So just need to hope there's enough meat on the tyres for the next stage. Obviously, the rain's coming in, so.
Yeah, another one looks to be on those wets. Just quicker than Dale Furness. Another good time from Dale there. Richard Crozier popping into the lead by, looks like 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, not a lot in it. A very good run from Richard. We shouldn't discount that at all. A 2:51 is a good time through here. Very close to Dale, of course, and Dale's time was clean enough, although he wasn't too happy about it. But already, look, we're seeing some greens up on the board here from Josh McAlane. I don't know.
Throw in a James Williams as well, and we've still got to see for the first time James Morgan. Hold on to your hats, everyone, because James Williams said he's going for the win or bust, as Matt Edwards, double British champion, comes through. Third. A bit disappointing, I think, for Matt.
Took a few corners to settle into how the car was feeling, but other than that, a good clean run.
Yeah, not bad. Safe pair of hands, though. He's still in that top three. Let's not write him off just yet, because this is a long event. And look, he's only half a second off. There's me going, he's had a disappointing affair, but half a second is a missed gear change.
Yeah, absolutely. There's absolutely nothing in this top three. As we look at Josh there, just taking some big cuts. These guys do get the opportunity to recce these stages. Not very long, though, but they do have the chance to pass through these. So he's going to be knowing where those cuts are, and you can just see he knew exactly what was coming up there.
Absolutely, just leaving the rubber on the deck from one green verge to another. Josh McAlane is looking silky smooth. We've got a couple of greens on the board for him now. Can he pop himself ahead of Richard Crozier on the leaderboard? He does, 0.8. 0.8 per second.
Yeah, stage one done. It's quite weird being on a wet tyre and a dry surface, but the next stage seems to be wet, so yeah, we have to pick a smart choice and keep it going.
Yeah, another man on those wets. I think everyone is in the same boat, so that makes it nice and consistent for all of our guys here. But this is look at the gaps, Matt. This is incredible. This is only stage one, not mind, but James Williams, he said he's going to put everything to the wall and the kitchen sink as well to literally try and get on top of the leaderboard as we see our first look. James Morgan, he's down on the splits.
Yeah, he is down. I wonder how he's playing Germany. The pressure is undoubtedly on him. You know, all eyes are on him. Everybody wants to beat him. Whereas these guys, it's always nice, as in the real world, to be chasing down somebody in front of you. So, see how James got on?
Seconds.
Had a frozen moment in there, so wasn't sure if we could carry on, but I think we had second fastest so far, so happy with that.
When he says frozen, Matt, do you think he's talking about the Disney film, or he's actually just like a technical glitch?
Do you think he had a little sing-song halfway through or something, like Let It Go or something?
Oh, let it go, Matt. Just let it go. Anyway, we're not letting this go because we've got our final driver into the stage. Some big cuts, monstering it everywhere. James Morgan, I think, will need to pull everything out here to try and beat the two young protagonists in front of him of Josh McAlane even, and James Williams.
Yeah, again, there's nothing in it. Look at those top three. With 1/8 of a second separating our top three, just like in the real-life British Rally Championship. We know that's unpredictable. We know how uncertain everything is. And right here in Germany, it's absolutely replicating that.
Your hat.
What's we got here? No!
Oh, second, 0.3.
Not a bad stage. Didn't push too much in there. I think I lost 3/10 to Josh, so looks like it'll be a very close rally.
It's certainly going to be a really, really close affair, but there you have it then. Confirmation that Josh McAlane is the leader after SS1 here in Germany. James Morgan in second, James Williams in third. Richard Crozier, a good, smooth, silky performance from him in fourth, with Dale Furness rounding out our top 5 after the first stage. Now, Matt, everything has to switch. The mindset from bone dry tarmac now to the wet, the damp conditions. What do you have to do for that?
Cross your fingers. And anything else that you've got, I think, to be fair. You know, it's just such a difficult surface to try and get right in the best of times. You add into that some rain and it's just going to make it very, very difficult indeed. We could see some fairly big moments in here, even for our leaders. So I'm excited to get this stage underway.
And look here, Matt, the heavens have opened. The rain, which was forecast, Seb Scott has worked his magic. We have damp, tricky conditions for SS2 as William Crichton sets to blast his Polo into the stage, Matt.
Yeah, it looks a very, very different rally from SS1 already. This will be mighty tricky for these guys to get into. You're going to have to take it gingerly. The only advantage they do have, of course, is the fact that they are now on the right tyres, having to do SS1 on wets because they knew that this was coming up. Now the car will start to feel a little more solid underfoot, but nevertheless it doesn't make it any easier. These stages are notoriously tricky.
Absolutely. And again, most of the drivers that we managed to get some end of stage interviews with were saying that they were on the wet tyre. So I think it's all going to come down to who didn't overcook them in that first stage, because as Richard Crozier alluded to, you needed the meat on the tyre. You need that tread pattern, because when you come into the heavy braking areas like this, you want it to grip nicely. So William Crichton's tyres are all hooked up into special stage 2 as Brian Brady.
Some great.
Oh, go on, Matt. Sorry.
No, some great lines from Will there. I was just about to say how impressive those look. You know, very neat, very tidy, just not sort of outdoing himself. No pressure on him. Of course, he's not got those splits to follow being first on the road, so he is setting the benchmark for everybody else. Brian Brady is going to certainly want a cleaner run through this one than he did in the first one.
Absolutely. Of course, these guys are running at minute intervals, so when Brian gets to the finish, he'll be starting to see some of Williams' split times come through, as Williams making light work of this. He's already into this tricky sort of triangle complex, pretty much halfway through the stage almost already. But yeah, the conditions completely changed from SS1. Of course, those with a keen eye will notice this is a complete flip from that first stage, as Brian Brady comes in a little bit deeper than William. Oh, and he slides it, gets on the loose, chucks the dirt, just losing a little bit of time to William there.
Big contrast already between the two drivers. I mean, this is only 5.6 kilometres. As you say, a reverse of SS1. So no wonder the positions are so tight at the top.
Oh, yikes. Brian Brady there hitting a concrete block. Knocked the lights out, but there's no steam or anything coming out, so it doesn't look like it's hit the radiator too hard.
That's those Hinkelsteins we were talking about. They do line most of these stages, often used to stop these guys cutting, but they are on the inside and out. Oh!
Tidied up, Brian. So I think something just got psychologically in the head. He's had that off. He needs to regather his thoughts and go again. As William Crichton gives us our first time, 2 minutes, 50 point. Ooh, hello.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ow. Bit of Rupert Flynn there.
Car looking a bit second hand, but managed to stay on the road most of the time. Definitely a lot more training required in the simulator, but yeah, good fun and looking forward to the final 2 stages.
Excellent. And he's smiling, that's the most important thing. That's what we want. These guys, it's close competition, but they're enjoying every single minute. And a respectable time from Will there. So we'll see what he can do. We've seen Di Roberts into the stage. Eamon Creedon now makes his way into the first split in that 208 T16.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a good time from Will, actually. I think we've said before, when you don't sort of have too many expectations, you don't sort of set yourself up too much, put too much pressure on yourself. And certainly when it's wet in Germany, sort of a clean and tidy run will probably reap rewards. So it'd be interesting to see how that time compares against the likes of Brian, Dale, and the front runners, to be fair. But some damage, quite
bit of clipping the insides there, shaving every 10th of a second he can. There we go, 9 seconds. Brian's lost that time.
We went wide on a square right and hit a stone. We had to reverse and we lost our lights then for the remaining part of the stage.
It's a tough one, but that's rallying, unfortunately. The wet, tricky conditions did catch out Brian, but he's still there and he can get it into service, head overnight, and we'll get him into the final 2 stages tomorrow. So Eamon Creedon's putting some greens in.
Yeah, that's good. Mr. Consistent, I think. You know, handling this 208 T16 rather nicely indeed. I do love the sound of that, especially when it's flat on the limiter down here in Germany. Sounds epic.
Absolute personal favourite as Di Roberts does a bit of a Scandi flick into the final corner, popping and
Fair
banging.
play, Di.
Yeah, absolute.
Yeah.
Di on a full simulator setup now. There's no excuses. There we go. Second quickest to Will. Will monstering it. I wonder if the rain's actually falling harder now. I wonder if that's actually happening. I wonder if Will got the conditions.
Yeah. Well, look, we do have the realism like turned up to 9. You know, it is. Stage degradation happens, the cuts happen. It could very well be the rain is always going to make a difference, and it could, of course, be down to how much wear these guys really put those wet tyres under through it.
Talking of wear, Dale Furness, like, he's not shy, is he, at all? He is giving it his all. He can smell a good result here. Oh, yeah, get it back. Oh,
where's he off?
Yeehaw! Bit of a I don't know what to say about that moment. That was real seat of the pants. That was Code Brown, wasn't it?
It really was. I hope he got that picked up again. I think the shots.
I'm happy enough with how stage 2 went. I made the correct tire choice in service. It lasted a small bit of time cutting a square right, but it's life.
Yeah, safely does it for Eamon Creedon. He goes half a second slower than William Crichton, as Rupert Flynn, golden glowing brake discs. He is trying hard. Look at the rain now, Matt. As you try and see into the distance through this cockpit view.
Yeah, it is really, really tricky, and fair play to Rupert for using the cockpit view through this. We don't force our competitors to do that, but he wants the ultimate realism when he's doing this, and that certainly gives you that.
Yeah, look at that. Look at Richard here using. Well held there from the Scotsman. The flying Scotsman, indeed. He is on a mission. He can also smell a good result. There we go. 1.2. Looking.
Some big greens up there, Ben. That's a big, big gap. Yeah.
As his driver in real life, Rupert Flynn, comes through.
Got a lot of time to make up in the next few stages, but service next. Sort out the setup a little bit and stick on some slicks.
Oh, yeah, bolt on the slicks is what he said. Hopefully it'll be dry the second part and he'll be able to give it a good push, because he was quick in Spain. I think he's just a little bit dejected here.
Yeah, just a little bit, and I think those green times coming up for his co-driver in real life, Richard Crozier. I think that's going to deject him a little bit more.
I think so, absolutely. I think Richard and Rupert need to be swapping seats in real life, possibly.
Oh, controversial. Here we have it.
I said it. Maybe Richard has done on the road sections. Maybe he's just had a little inkling to give it a go himself. But talking of quick, Matt Edwards, our double British champion. He is on a mission again. Whoa, big send. Dale Furness goes quickest. Where did that come from?
Offline early on in that stage on a fast bit. Cost us a bit of time. It could have been better.
It could have been better, but almost out of nowhere, Dale Furness then bang, punches in the time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he did well, considering he had that big moment in there. We were talking about co-drivers, actually. If you look at the leaderboard of the EBRC, you'll notice that actually most of them are co-drivers.
It doesn't make for good reading at the minute, does it?
It doesn't, does it?
Come on, the likes of Matt Edwards, James, you need to sort this out. Come on. Co-drivers can't be ruling the world, surely. Maybe this is I know, due to the COVID-19 situation, all sorts of things has happened, but sure, the world hasn't been turned on its head that much, surely.
Well, it would be interesting to see if these drivers are just as good as the pace notes as the co-drivers are. There's plenty of role reversal going on inside and outside. But there we go then. That confirms Richard Crozier's pretty impressive time.
Yeah, on the money straight away. Talking of on the money, this is our rally leader heading into the stage. He was top of the timesheet for SS1, and another young man as well on a charge, be wanting gold this evening and tomorrow is James Williams. He's looking good as well. Here we go, Matt. It's the roulette wheel now as they all are in to the stage. It's going to be very, very interesting. Whoa! Backing it in there, James Williams.
Yeah, the back end of that car was in the corner before the front end, that's for sure. These are the heavy hitters, Ben. This is where we expect to see some impressive times. That said, it is still really close. That time of Richard Crozier's with a 2:46 is impressive on its own. We can't rule that out. But nevertheless, this is where things get interesting.
Here we go. Matt Edwards in the beautiful USAA liveried Ford Fiesta R5. He goes into third.
Not too clean there, really. Lost a bit of time on the hairpins. Probably revert back to another setup that we used earlier in testing to do the long one.
Rivals be wary. Matt's going to go and dial it in overnight and see what he can do tomorrow. Never discount a double British champion. Matt will be at the sharp end, I'm sure, tomorrow as well, as James Morgan comes into the stage as well. So here we go. All of our runners and riders are now in. It's a case of who can keep it on the black stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tricky stage, this one. The rain's not letting up any, so it's the same for pretty much all of our guys. There's standing water, there's the cobbles to cope with. You take these big cuts that those guys were taking in SS1 and it can become very, very tricky to try and get it back on the road even. So look, let's see what Josh has done.
Ooh.
It feels good to get through that one. It was quite slippy in there, a lot of change in grip levels, so it's difficult to judge. But we're in the service now, and hopefully it dries up a little.
By half a second, Matt. Half a second. He edges Richard Crozier.
Yeah, but absolutely, Richard set the quickest time in that stage. So overall, Josh has only just nipped in front of Richard Crozier, or retained his second place at the moment. We have to wait, or it could even be third. We have to wait for James Williams and of course James Morgan. But Richard Crozier has actually got the fastest time so far if we look at the leaderboard. So that's impressive from Richard.
Absolutely, as James Williams comes through. Quick in Spain, what can he do here? Oh, he's third.
Another good stage. It wasn't my best. There was a couple of moments where I just felt I was towing a caravan around some of the bends. But no, it was pretty clean, so we got through and into the long one now.
If he's backing in caravans like that, Matt, he must have been a stunt driver in a previous career.
I reckon so. I wonder if M Sport don't fit tow bars on Fiesta R5s, do they?
Not yet, anyway, but what a PR stunt that would be. But here we go. Talking of greatness, James Morgan.
Has he done it? He has.
He's done it. we bow down to the mighty James Morgan.
Quite a tricky little stage and very close to Josh again. So going into the long stage now after service, so should be interesting.
He takes the stage win there, but importantly, he takes the overnight rally lead going into the stages tomorrow. So have we go. The rally leaderboard. James Morgan leads, as we said there. Josh McAlane is just behind in second, with Richard Crozier. Great result from Richard in third. James Williams in fourth, and Dale Furness rounding out the top 5. Oh, Matt, just sum up tonight's entertainment.
But look, it's a word that I use every single time I'm on the British Rally Championship, whether it's in the EBRC Invitational or actually in real life, and unpredictable. It still is. Okay, you could argue that James Morgan at the top of the leaderboard is something that we would expect, but if you look behind him, just how close everything is, and look at the names that are just behind him as well in second and third and fourth, it's going to be anybody's rally come tomorrow night.
Absolutely, we don't know what the weather's going to do just yet, but I'm sure Seb Scott's got it up his sleeve. It's going to be a complete lottery again. So of course, join Seb and John Armstrong, esports legend John Armstrong, tomorrow, same time, same place, to see the conclusion of the third round of the PC Specialist BRC Esports Invitational Championship. But if you've enjoyed this, do head to BritishRallyChampionship.co.uk, register for the EBRC, which uses the same stages, the same conditions. You'll be driving the Ford Fiesta R2 in the game on Dirt Rally 2.0, and if you're champion at the end, you'll drive you'll test drive a real life Ford Fiesta R2T with Edis. A cracking prize, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think either one of you and I will be up for that prize, but look, it gives everybody the opportunity to turn their skills from Dirt Rally 2.0, sat in their front room on a gaming chair, into an absolute real life experience where they can get behind the wheel of a Fiesta R2. It's just unbelievable. I wish I was in the running for it.
Well, speak for yourself, Matt. I've taken a whole week off work. I'm going to be buying all the gear, all the PC Specialist equipment. I've used my EBRC code. I've got all the gear coming down. Matt, I want to be at the top of the timesheets. I know I won't, but one can dream. But there we go. Do head to BritishRallyChampionship.co.uk and register now. And also we'll put all the times up there, all the points. So yeah, join in the fun. And join Seb Scott and John Armstrong tomorrow. Same place, same time, for the conclusion PC Specialist BRC Esports Invitational. From Matt and I, good night.